It's not on track for Drew Brees to play this weekend. Remember, he was put on injured reserve 3 weeks ago today. Today's the day he's eligible to return to practice. Once he returns to practice, a 3-week window opens for him to return to action. No reason to think he's coming back today or tomorrow. No reason to think he's going to play on Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. So it will be Taysom Hill, who's 3-0 as a starter. The New Orleans Saints now 8-0 with backup quarterbacks over the last 2 seasons. And it'll be Hill versus Jalen Hurts, the new starter in Philly with Carson Wentz on the bench. And there's no concern with Taysom Hill on the field. None whatsoever. They're as confident with Hill as they are with Brees. I've seen people in the media beginning to suggest, and this may be sacrilegious, that Hill should just continue to be the starter for the rest of the season, regardless of whether or not Brees is healthy. I'm not ready to go there, but there are some voices that are beginning to make that noise. And with each win and with each impressive performance by Taysom Hill, Charean, I think you're going to hear more people start to sign on to that concept.
Yeah, Mike, a couple things. First, you're the one that pointed out that you think they put him on injured reserve today so he wouldn't push to come back this week. And it makes sense. They should feel confident against the Eagles, right? They're going to win that game unless they do something stupid in that game with Jalen Hurts making his first start. And it wouldn't matter if it was Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts. The Saints are favored. They're going to win this game, should win this game. But guess what? Guess who they play next week? They play the Chiefs next week. So I'm thinking they want Drew Brees to get in a week of practice, come back, be ready, and perhaps put Taysom Hill back in his role. And perhaps, Mike, he's more involved in the passing game now that they know what he can do. They've seen it. They have evidence of it. So perhaps we see him taking actually more snaps as a quarterback and throwing more passes as a quarterback next week against the Chiefs, if indeed Drew Brees does come back and start.
And to the extent that there is a dramatic difference between the two quarterbacks, why not use them as much as you can to force the opposing defense to be ready for anything and everything? And it could get a little awkward. There could be some palace intrigue if Drew Brees believes he's ready, but the Saints aren't ready to activate him from injured reserve, or once he's returned to practice, to activate him for game purposes. And the one reporter to watch in this regard, and look, there are some in this business who get a little uncomfortable when I do this, but it's never stopped me before. It's not stopping me now. Watch Ed Werder's Twitter feed. Because if Ed Werder is reporting that Drew Brees is antsy, or Drew Brees is ready to come back, or Drew Brees is confused, it's all coming from Drew. If Ed Werder reports it. Charean, you don't have to agree or disagree with me on this if you don't want to. I don't want to put you in a bad spot.
Agree.
Just listen to me, folks. Okay, thank you. If Ed Werder reports it, it's coming from Brees. So if there's any potential awkwardness between team and Brees, and Ed Werder reports on potential awkwardness, know this, it's coming from Brees. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, too, if they don't instantly welcome Brees back to practice next week once they get ready for the Chiefs, Charean.
And you know what, Mike? Sean Payton's brilliant, and he's brilliant in so many ways. I mean, the Saints are 8-0 without Drew Brees as starting quarterback over the last 2 years, 5-0 last year with Teddy Bridgewater. But he learned so much of this stuff from Bill Parcells, and we've kind of traded. You talked to Sean, and you talked to some other Saints players who talked about the cheese. I think it was Taysom Hill who told you about the cheese baskets in the locker room. That's from Bill Parcells. Getting the training room ice cold so players don't want to be there. That's Bill Parcells, an influence that Parcells had on Sean Payton. But another thing he's great at, Mike, is the intrigue of who's going to start at quarterback. I don't know if there's anybody better in the league at doing this than Sean Payton, than hiding who's going to be your starting quarterback. I mean, we talked about the Eagles came out and announced, hey, Jalen Hurts is going to be our quarterback. Sean Payton would never do that. And so the Eagles, frankly, are having to game plan for two completely different quarterbacks. If you look how the Saints have changed since Taysom Hill's been in there, they've averaged 200.7 rushing yards and 38.7 attempts. With Hill at the quarterback, with Brees there, it was 29.6 attempts and 120.8 yards. Completely different offense with Taysom Hill. So now you've had the Eagles spending all week having a game plan for two quarterbacks. It's brilliant, frankly. And he's one of the only, I guess Bill Belichick is the other who can pull this off. But I've never seen anything like it because people always talk, whoever it is, because you know who's taking those first team snaps. players talk, but in the Saints case and the Patriots case, only two teams I know of in the NFL, nobody talks.
We were trading text messages earlier, reminiscing about Bill Parcells, and you lived it, you covered it. I just remember hearing about it from the people that I know, that when Parcells became the coach, it was the training room that was reduced to as cold as possible so players wouldn't want to go there, and the players' lounge basically became an igloo. Extra air conditioning units, turn it all the way down so it's so cold they don't want to go in there and hang out. Just brilliant. And look, they didn't win a Super Bowl. They didn't even get to an NFC Championship game under Parcells, but they were pretty good because of the Parcells influence. And now the Saints 10-2 on the brink of another division championship with or without Drew Brees. And again, if they win in Philly on Sunday, I expect more people to start cooking up the hot take that Hill should continue to be the quarterback even when Drew Brees is healthy. And I'm not saying I'm on board with that, but as they keep winning, you're going to hear that more and more.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.